Isn't that something? Got a dove in the background. I have been absolutely dying to do a little video about Donald Trump. And it's not that I hate the guy, okay? It's not that at all. It's just that I love America and I want the very best for America. If I was to be speaking to Donald right now, this is what I would be saying to him. And bear in mind, I'm one of those guys that likes to build bridges and not, put walls between us. I'm trying to find common ground, things that we can discuss and have in common so we can build a relationship. Have dinner and talk about things rationally, like civilized people. There's a lot of things that we do have in common. I mean, I used to be living high on the hog. I was on top of my game. I was a stockbroker. I was making, back in the day, in today's dollars, I was making $20,000, $30,000 a month. Living on the 43rd floor of a palatial condo, two-bedroom condo, right on the waterfront. That had a wraparound view of the lake. The sun rose in one bedroom and it set in another. Marble floors, concierge, valet parking, hockey stars in the elevators. And then I went into private equity marketing, and I raised money. So I have some knack in branding, positioning, marketing. I've worked for Daryl Quarles, who was the director, writer of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Family Ties. Worked for him for a while. I worked for Larry Namer. I was on his advisory board. Larry is the guy that founded Entertainment, and subsequently he sold it to Comcast for $411 million. And he started his own company after that, Meton Development Group, which infiltrated the Chinese entertainment market. And he asked me to review his business plan, which was for $5 million, a $5 million raise. And over the phone, I talked to Larry for about 2 or 3 minutes. I says, Larry, with your name, your brand recognition, and you infiltrating China, you should be asking for a lot more than $5 million. Come on. So we changed the number from $5 million to $100 million and revised the whole business plan. So I know a little bit about branding. I know a little bit about marriage. Donald, you've been married, what, 3 times? I've been married 5 times, okay? I've got 2 on you, but 2 of them didn't really count. I'll tell you why they didn't really count, because they proposed to me. I didn't propose to them. So, in fact, one of them said to me, Paul, I just announced to my friends and family that we're just engaged. And I was the last one to know. So she smelled some money here, and she wanted to seal the deal. And that was signed, sealed, and delivered before I even knew it. I made a few mistakes, okay? So we got that in common. We also have this in common. You don't drink, I don't smoke, you don't smoke. We don't do drugs, okay? And you love America, and I love America. So we've got that to work on. But I also know that you're a marketing guy. I mean, you've done this before. You've been down this road before, campaigning for president. And win, lose, or draw, the brand's got to come up on top, right? You've got to make some bucks here. You've got to have some name recognition. And you're doing a terrific job doing that. You're getting all this free publicity, TV networks, press, social media. Everybody knows you now. And I'm willing to bet that before this thing even started, you had some kind of a deal with GOP telling them, look, I don't really want to be president, but, I'll play the part. I'll get this election up and roaring, and eventually I'll bow out. Something will happen. It's a bit like WWE. I don't know if you are consulting with Vince McMahon or not, but it would seem to me a logical thing to do, right? Because he knows the game inside out. And politics, I mean, the election, hey, come on, it's like, it's the reality show on steroids, testosterone, human growth hormone all in one. It's the ultimate reality show. So I understand all that. I get it. But there's some other points that I don't get. Like, I know you want publicity, and I know the more outrageous and inflammatory your remarks are, the more press you're going to get, right? Like this thing about immigration, deporting 11 million people. It's pretty hard to swallow. The thing about the Muslims, okay, you want to contain the problem, but at the same time, you have to put it in such a context that people will accept your proposal, and you sound a little bit inflammatory there and contentious. Your comments about women, and the thing that really gets me is, why would you come in front of national TV and say, the system is broken and I love it? Why would you do that? Okay, we understand that something is not kosher, and we understand there's corruption. Why would you say I love it? There's things that come out of your mouth that you just can't help almost, and we don't begrudge you, but it's your character. I mean, you are who you are. But you're telegraphing a signal to our young children that, hey, you know what? You too can have a piece of the pie if you are just like me. If you start getting ahead and elbowing your way ahead of the line and greasing politicians' palms, you'll be able to get your development first in line while everybody waits. And then, it looks hypocritical because you're telling the immigrants, the undocumented immigrants, you've got to wait like everybody else. You can't be in front of the line. You can't be breaking the rules. In the meantime, you're breaking them. So there's a bit of a disconnect there. It's a little bit schizoid. I don't get it. And then, you're going to be deporting people that actually worked on your projects, on your hotels. I'm pretty sure right now in Washington, D.C., in your hotel, that job site, there's undocumented immigrants working for you. So, come on, Donald. I mean, you're a good guy. Deep down inside, you probably got a great heart. I don't know what your upbringing was like. I know you mentioned you had to be taken to, for 4 or 5 years, you were in a military academy. Obviously, you were pretty hard to handle. You were, I don't know, what were you? Were you a delinquent? Where were you? A renegade? We know you're a loose cannon, so that's got something to do with it. And when you're talking geopolitics and you're talking with people like Putin and Angela Merkel, and I'm sure you probably ask her how in the world did she get reelected with her looks. That would probably come out of your mouth. I'm sure it'll come out of your mouth when you meet her, because that's just who you are. And you'll probably tell her she's crazy for allowing all these Syrians in her country too, which we know she is. But the way you'll say it, it will really be degrading. So all I know is you're playing a little bit of a different game than I am. Your game is he with the most toys wins. My game is he with the best character wins ultimately. Because we came with nothing, we're going to leave with nothing, and eventually we're going to have to answer to our maker, okay? And I think you're just playing a part here. I really think you're playing the part, good, bad, or indifferent, whatever it is. Call it capitalism, call it self-interest, call it whatever you want to call it. You're playing a game which I wouldn't play. I wouldn't play the American people like that. And I know there's a lot of frustration, and you're like the lightning rod, you're like the vent. Just like you have a pressure cooker, and on top of the lid you have a little bit of a vent, that hole that allows the steam to come through, to escape. It happened last election with Ron Paul. He was the vent. People were clamoring to hear more from Ron Paul because he was their proxy. He was echoing what they were feeling, their sentiments. So, we understand that. Every 4 years we got to go through that process of releasing the pressure. It's a cathartic process. And I feel sorry for the people that really think you're the cat's meow and God's gift to politics. I feel sorry because they're going to be very disappointed. And I know the GOP has it in for you. They're going to do something to sidetrack you. You're going to be off that race pretty soon. I feel it. And I feel bad for all the people that have, jumped on the bandwagon and thought that you were it. Anyway, I'm going to be running as a pro bono, pro tempore, which means I don't want any emoluments, I don't want a salary, I don't want the pensions that go with it. I want to serve the country for free until we get a new constitution ratified by the people, because I want to eliminate the House of Representatives and replace it with a national account, a citizen's national account. That's an online account. You can go on there and see all the bills under review, all the bills to be voted on, and the people can actually vote directly. They don't need to be represented by middlemen, corrupt middlemen. And that's my main agenda, my number one talking point. I've got 50 other positions on issues. That's it. Finish off, Donald, just a couple of points here on your branding strategy. I know that you're trying to come across as the entrepreneur par excellence, right? But I also think that you're going about the wrong way. You know, you're not one of the 99% at the bottom. You are definitely one of the top 1%. You are the elite. Okay, that's the first word that comes to mind. Elite. Second word is you have a sense of entitlement. You know, you're entitled to get certain things in life, to get it your way or the highway, to muscle your way through the ranks and the bureaucracy and get your deals and your developments approved before anybody else's. You know, there's a sense of exceptionalism in that too, right? You're the exception to the rule. You know, you don't want the immigrants to be exceptions to the rule, but you, because you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you know, you had what, $400 million inheritance just gifted to you, which would be with inflation around 570 million in today's dollars. I mean, that's a pretty good head start, right? Anybody can work around that, make a few bucks. So, you know, exceptionalism, entitlement, and elitism all come to mind when I think of your brand, your strategy. And I really, for the life of me, do not understand how the common man can really empathize with a person like you. I really don't know how they can do it.
Hey Donald, Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Day. Just having a bite to eat early in the morning here. You know, I wish you all the very best, my friend. For the last year I've been living in my Jeep, my Grand Cherokee Jeep. And let me tell you, it's been a very transforming experience. I used to share, you know, one of the character traits that you have, which is very well known. I shouldn't even have to tell you. You know what it is. Let me give you a big guess. It starts with the letter E. It's called Eagle. You know, we all have a little bit of ego. We need to have it stroked once in a while. We need to feel good about ourselves, right? We need to have that feedback. Know that other people recognize us. And mine was a little bit off the charts there for a while. I really needed to have that reinforcement, the affirmation from everybody. I don't know what brought that on. It might have been childhood issues, I don't know. Feeling of inadequacy. In your case, you know, it's a well-known fact that your ego is way off the charts. I mean, you gotta have that image of yourself on the front covers, and you have to have the press, and you have to have the notoriety, the acclaim. You know what I'm talking about. So I would suggest, you know, if you want to really become real, because right now you're just playing a part. For anybody who knows a marketeer, who's been there, we know that you're playing a part. You're playing the part of the presidential candidate. Just like Cold Stone Steve Austin would play the part of, that main wrestler. I would suggest take a year off. Go live on an island somewhere in a hut. Just chill. And you'll see how you'll transform and how you'll find yourself and become maybe more useful to people, more real. And you won't be afraid so much. You won't be so thin-skinned. Every time somebody throws a jab at you, you're just bouncing back. Excuse me. Yeah. So that's what I recommend. That's my Christmas gift to you. Okay? I hope you take it in stride. Bye-bye. God bless and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I want to dedicate this one to Donald Trump. Donald, low energy.